Attorneys, this is the culture playbook for virtual legal teams. Trust me that proximity, meaning just having employees in an office, that's not culture. Systems are culture. So if you think culture requires an office, this video is especially for you. Quick context, my name is Hugo E. Gomez. I'm the founder of Legal Staff Now. We've helped over 500 law firms nationwide with their marketing, with their virtual staffing since 2018. Featured in the Inc. 5000 and featured in Bloomberg Law. I highly recommend that you Google us to get more context on what it is that we do in terms of virtual staffing for law firms. So I want to start with this quote from the BCG Attorney Search Remote Work in Law Firms report. They said, quote, many formal policies don't match lived experience. Cultural norms often demand more presence than official guidelines allow. In other words, even the firms that claim to have remote culture often do not. The policy exists on paper, but the culture doesn't really exist. And that's the gap that this playbook aims to fill. The firms that build real culture virtually outperform the ones faking it in an office because they're forced to be intentional. You can't accidentally build culture across time zones. You have to design it. And the firms that design it retain better, they perform better, and they scale faster. So, point number one, proximity. Again, it's not culture, intention is. This is a foundational reframe. Most law firms confuse sitting in the same room with having a culture. They don't, they just have proximity. And the proximity creates an illusion of connection without the substance of real connection. Culture is built on shared values, clear expectations, consistent rituals. None of those require a zip code. A team that shares values across 3 time zones has more culture than a team that shares a break room and never talks about stuff that matters. And a quick way to build culture is a regular meeting, which brings us to point number 2, daily stand ups, 15 minutes that change everything. This is a single most important culture building habit for a virtual team. What is in a stand up? You gather everyone in the Zoom room, cameras on, non negotiable. Talk about what you did yesterday, what you're doing today. What are the blockers? 3 sentences, every person, every morning. Don't make it feel formulaic, but also don't make it exceed 15 minutes. That's a daily stand up. It replaces the hallway conversations, that water fountain conversation that lost. That's the daily stand up. It replaces the hallway conversation, the water cooler talk, all that stuff that you lost when you went all in on virtual. So it's not a meeting. It's like the heartbeat of your office, your virtual office. And if you skip it, the term drifts within a week. The firms that do this every day, that have virtual teams, they feel more connected, ironically, than most in office teams. The ones that go out for happy hour and the ones that have teams that split up for certain lunches. The reality is that in office teams never had a structured check in, and that breaks culture. So let's talk about point number 3 about weekly video calls. You need cameras on, no exceptions. I call it a non negotiable. You can't build trust with a black screen and a muted mic. The cameras don't have to be on. They just have to be on every week, every meeting. They need to see your face, and you need to see everyone else's faces to build the trust that keeps people from leaving. So the move here is to dedicate the first 5 minutes to non-work conversation. How was your weekend? How's your family? Like, ask with actual interest. What are you watching? This is not wasted time. It's the connective tissue that makes a team a team. And if you don't have everyone on camera, it's going to look like you're speaking to no one. Point number 4, celebrate wins publicly, especially the small ones. This is where most firms fail with virtual teams. Your in office team gets a pat on the back, here's a free Starbucks on the house. Your virtual team often gets silence, but they do the same work, sometimes with better quality, higher volume, but rarely any recognition. That's how you lose great people to other firms. Here's what we recommend any firm does when we onboard a virtual assistant. If they don't have one already, build a Slack channel just for wins. Shout out one person in every team meeting. Send a message when someone goes above and beyond in real time. It takes 30 seconds. It takes a couple emojis. It takes a gift card, Uber Eats gift card. Changes everything. We have a client that uses us for many of their virtual hires. And one of their hires, her name is Mariana. She earned her promotion within 3 months. That doesn't happen in a culture of silence. Atlas Law Center celebrates their virtual team the same way they celebrate their in-office team. That's why their turnover is almost non-existent. Number 5, give your team a career path. Yes, even the ones virtually, not just a task list. It's a retention lever that you should be thinking about all the time. Most firms treat virtual staff like task machines. Do the work, get paid, repeat, no growth plan, no title progression, no learning opportunities. And then they wonder why their VAs leave after a few months. Mariana, the woman that I spoke about earlier, she started as a case manager. And within 3 months, she was promoted to a paralegal. That's a career path by that law firm. That was an investment. That's why she's still there. And that's why Atlas has very little turnover across 6, 7, 8 virtual professionals. They don't see their virtual professionals as any different from the ones in their office. It's all an entire unit that works together. Which brings us to point number 6. Standard operating procedure documents are the foundation of virtual culture. No, they are not boring. They're actually freedom. Think about these things. Like, how do you want that demand letter formatted? Where does this document go? Who approves this? Who signs it wrong? Who sends it back for quality assurance? If it doesn't work, that failure is entirely yours because you never wrote it down. So document everything and then let the SOPs do the managing so that you can do the leading. The best virtual teams run on systems, not on supervision. The SOPs create consistency. They create trust. And that trust, even with something as small as creating a documented procedure, that creates culture, believe it or not. Point number 7, include everyone in the mission, not just the work. That's the difference between a vendor and a team member. So think about this. If you've hired anyone virtually, do they know why the firm exists? Do they know what a case win means to a client's life? Or do they just process documents and push buttons and, create email rules and move on to the next file? If they don't feel connected to the outcome, they'll never feel connected to the team. So do this in your stand-ups or do this on Slack. Share case results. Share real client feedback, especially the bad feedback. You can learn a lot from that. Let them see the impact of their work. When a $500,000 settlement comes in, tell the paralegal who drafted the demand letter. When a client sends a thank you email, forward it to the whole team. That's how you build meaning across a screen and beyond the task list. So to recap, again, number 1, proximity is not culture, intention is. Number 2, daily stand-ups, 15 minutes every morning. Number 3, weekly video calls, cameras on, no exceptions. Number 4, celebrate wins publicly, especially the small ones. Number 5, give everyone a career path, not just a task list. Number 6, SOPs, documentation. They're the foundation of virtual culture. And lastly, include them in the mission, not just the work. So to recap, culture isn't an office. It's a system that you build. The firms that build it virtually retain better, they perform better, and frankly, they scale faster than the ones relying on proximity to do the work for them. At Legal Staff Now, we help you build a team of your dreams and the culture to keep them. Everyone we help hire is vetted, dedicated, placement ready in weeks. You can look at all available candidates right now, no cost to you. Just go to legalstaffnow.com. We don't just place people, we help you build the systems that make them stay. So if you're ready to build a virtual team that actually feels like a team, potentially even one better than your in-office team, we'll show you the playbook in more detail. So book a call. The link is in the description. Let's talk.